Hey, I'm Krista Wax. You are listening to MSP Sound on KFAI, and I am beyond excited because I have the one and only PaviElle with me via Zoom. Hey,
Hey, Krista, how are you? It's
I'm
so good. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm like, I have
oh
a
no
question.
no, you take over. You got it.
It is. It's so good to like finally meet you in, or at least through, Zoom. But it's finally nice to meet you because you've been such a great supporter of my music, especially since, Fear Not is 8 years old and my new project is coming up. So I really appreciate all the support and, from you and your loving parents too. I appreciate that.
They say hi, by the way. Uh,
Oh, send them my love.
yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yes, I have taken Fear Not with me to all of my radio shows I've done here in KFAI, whatever day of the week I am. You will have been with me, and it is just so exciting to meet you virtually. And I hope sounds like we will be meeting each other soon at some fun events. But you have this brand new album coming out.
Yes. So it is going to be coming out September 17th. The name of the project is Sovereign. Um, this project basically talks, it chronicles everything that I went through in 2020. Um, I just felt like with the murder of George Floyd and a breakup of a relationship that I was in, and all these things that were happening, it just kind of left me in a place where I didn't know who I was and I couldn't find my voice. And I felt very compelled um, to speak as an artist, but I just didn't have anything productive to say. And I just was really at a loss of words. So I was also awarded the McKnight uh, Fellowship for Musicians that year. And so I just took a series of sabbaticals, and I bought a machine MK3. And I took this thing with me everywhere I, went. And my brother helped me, try to figure it out. And at least I learned how to make beats. And that's, a passion of mine. I'm a hip hop head, so I love to make hip hop beats. People don't really know that about me. That's a thing for me since I was a kid. Really inspired by Lauryn Hill and Missy Elliott and Angela Winbush, female producers. So I took this machine with me everywhere I went, and that was kind of like how I got back to myself, and found something familiar that I love that I could just sink into. And I just started creating beats. Just little stuff here and there, nothing that I thought I was going to do anything with, until the murder of Breonna Taylor happened. And I was sitting on Facebook watching the verdict unfold about, them not getting charged and the one cop getting charged for wanton reckless endangerment, right? And so I watched in real time all the people take to the street. And at the same time, I'm reading the comments, and the comments were just so horrible and just so anti-Black and just so despicable that I thought of a song immediately that I had written, that was dark and ominous and gloomy. And I sat there and I wrote this song, 4 bars at a time. So I would, play the song, write 4 bars, record it, stop. Play it some more, write 4 more bars, record, stop. And I did it all the way through this song until I got 3 verses. And the song's called Garveyite. And so once I had that, I realized, what am I going to do with that? Because, that's real. Like, that's everything in that song. I said everything that I wanted to say as a Black person. I said things like, you don't get my forgiveness and we don't need your permission. Things like that I want to change. And I hate the word narrative, but because it's so overused, but just to seriously change the narrative about how we are to be so forgiving about the state sanctioned murders and the things that continuously happen to us as American citizens who were and are still foundational to this country with the way in which we bring our culture and our beauty and our value and our humanity to the world. So I was like, you got to do something with this, but I just still wasn't ready yet. Then I took another sabbatical. And I went to Arizona. And at that time, I found out that I was going to be one of the winners of the Jerome uh, Artist Fellowship. So it was aligned. It was right on time. And I had a feeling like I was going through imposter syndrome in the beginning, but then I had a feeling to be confident, and just to know that you're going to get this and that you need to plan. Like I kept just hearing that you need to plan. And I had this piece of art and I was just like, oh my gosh, you have to do an album. So that's how it all came to be. Essentially, it started with that song. It started with me finding my voice again. And I actually rapped Garveyite, which was very, like, I wasn't thinking about putting nothing like that out. I haven't rapped in years. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, it's different. It's different for me, as a composer and a singer and an actor, like all these different things that I've done in my life, interdisciplinary. I didn't really showcase rapping like that. Like I did when I was younger. I used to be in this band called Edupoetic and Arraignment. That was a pretty big band here, locally and nationally. We got out of here and did some really good stuff. But I was a rapper then. I was a rapper and a singer. Like I said, I loved Missy Elliott and Lauryn Hill, and I wanted to be that. I wanted to be able to rap and sing and do all that. So it was like I kind of went back to my roots, and I went back to who I really am, and found myself again in that, and was like, yeah, if that's how it came out, you have to present it to the world like that, even if you're nervous or it's weird to you or it's something new and different that's a little outside of your comfort zone. As a 36-year-old woman, I got a rap album that's also full of different songs that are multi-genre. I mean, there's rock and polyrhythmic music and ballads and just all the different genres. I try to put all of my heart and my music into play for this. So it's nerve-wracking, and it's it's so different. It's just so different from what I have ever done, because this is like a culmination of all the things that I've learned, through time, through being an artist for 30 years now. I mean, gosh.
Wow.
It's crazy to say. Yeah, like I've been performing since I was 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you've really been on an incredible journey this past year. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of it was tied to just some really terrible events, but you really took those events and like, no, now I'm going to sound cheesy, but you made some lemonade with it, and
Yeah.
you took it and you ran. You're like, this is what I'm going to do. And
Yeah.
always dangerous reading comments on any social media post.
Absolutely. And I really try not to, but it was just too in your face.
Right.
And I think I really zoned in on taking the opportunity to use America as the muse, to be a mirror, to reflect what I see, and to say, how would you not feel like this? How would you not have feelings like how I feel in Garveyite or how I feel in Code Switch? If you're up against these types of things every day, whether they're, big or small, or, or macro or micro, it's just it's the living within the systems, and it's different for everybody. So how would you not feel that way? How could you not have the empathy to understand how I would feel like this when this is what I'm given to work with, stuff like that, these horrible, like, anti-Black sentiments, that I have to live within and duck and dodge and have to what's that word? Navigate. Navigate.
Navigate.
Yeah. This is, I don't know. I just feel like I do know. I'm trying to work on not saying I don't know, because I do know.
One of my bad phrases too. Yeah.
Yeah, we always do that, like saying I'm sorry. It's like, nope, cut that.
Yes.
Cut that. Yeah, words mean things. They cast spells. They mean things.
Yes.
But I feel very empowered by creating a piece of art like this, for multiple reasons. One, I don't really talk a whole bunch about politics, and I talk a lot about Black rights, and I talk a lot about things that are essential to me that I feel like I need to fight for, but I don't really talk a whole bunch about politics or how I feel about those things. And I'm a political science major, so I'm very disillusioned is a good word to use, with the systems, because I learned and I infiltrated and I understood the basis of what it means to be a politician, the basis of what it means to be a lawyer, and the things that they teach you, and the tricks and the underhanded things that you're taught to get what you want in that system. And I didn't want to become that. But to be able to speak on these things in an art form, that makes me feel really true to myself and honest, and authentic more than anything. It's not even about a thing about other people, it's about me. It's about me not being fearful about what people say, and saying what I said and standing on that, because that's how I feel. That's my opinion, and I can carry that through the world. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody or disrespect anybody's autonomy or disrespect anybody in that way. But I think that as a human being, you should be able to have your say. And this is my say about many things that I just don't like to talk about with people, because people want to debate your opinion as opposed to just understand my opinion and move forward. Like, this is how I feel. This is how I present. This is what happens in my life. This is my experience, and I'm open to new information, of course, but it's just some folks, they're just not for me. Let's put it that way. And this way I can just say what I want to say. You know what I mean? And not worry about the comments, and not worry about it is what it is. I said what I said. I feel like the song Rights, and I talk about, you can't give me my rights, because they're mine. I'll take them. They're mine. You know what I mean? I think that's an assertion of me saying something like, I know that I am whole. I know that I am a human being. I know that what I bring and what the value is, and what the value of my culture and my people and how beautiful we are and all that. Like, I understand that. So I'm not going to beg the government or beg white folks and white supremacy systems to be, fair to us and kind to us and any of that kind of thing anymore. I am asserting that you are infringing upon my rights. You're infringing upon, the rights of Black and POCI and marginalized people. This is not a us thing. This is a you thing. And you need to do the work. You need to undo the laws that empower y'all and disfranchise the marginalized, like I say in that song, like, that's real. And I think that we're at a time that, we need to say that kind of stuff, like Nina Simone says, like James Baldwin, like, all the people that I love and admire, I'm gonna talk my stuff, so that it's liberating in that way, but it's also liberating in the fact that I produce this executively, and I produce the music through the machine. And, the fact that I could put together all this stuff within this year, write all these lyrics, and all this stuff just flow out. And then being able to gather the band and put them in the studio and have them play over like the foundation. And they just kind of built on top of it what I needed. It was amazing how the album came together. Like, I've never solely produced an album before in this way. Like, where it's some pretty big stuff, like I've produced some little stuff back when I was younger, some little CDs I would just give to people and sell here and there, just stuff like that, give me some CDs pressed, write on them with my own marker.
Classic. Would you use a black Sharpie? Would you use a
You
different
know
color?
it. I would use a little black Sharpie and write my name in cursive, you know what I'm saying? And write the little credits,
Yeah.
little song name.
Oh, I love it.
PaviElle, getting free, you know? Oh
Oh,
my gosh, I'm telling you, I have done some stuff like that, but this is like my first um project that is done, you know, at a professional studio, professional everything on my own regard, because Fear Not was done the same way, but it was a co-producer, Casey O'Brien, that was a part of that project. So it wasn't necessarily all of my direction and all of you know, everything that I wanted, because it was somebody else co-producing with this. So, you know, this time it was like, now I get to do what's in my head, right? I get to do what's in my head, and I get to try things and be daring and be, you know, bold, not only in my lyricism, but in the music. Like, it's a feat and it's challenging. And to do this with electronic music, or electronic instruments along with acoustic instruments, and try to blend that. That's, you know, it's like my style that I'm trying to continue to build upon, even like with the compositions with the orchestra. It's the same thing. I'm trying to merge, you know, R&B, soul, and hip hop into the orchestra world, and be able to, you know, play soul symphonies, like I call them, or just and other people are doing that, but it's also in the way that I'm doing it. It's just a different style. And I'm trying to also do that with this machine stuff. So it it was just a huge deal, you know, to be able to, like, yesterday I turned in my proofs, you know, for the album, and just to sign off on that and just say, yeah, it's everything I want. It's everything I want. Everybody that worked on it was wonderful and provided a space of comfort for me to just get wild. And you know, all the musicians were wonderful, and I was able to utilize my Jerome grant in a way where it was super fulfilling. And I think that that's the other part of the liberation of it, is that it's bought and paid for, you know? So it's a true pleasure project. It's a true, I'm going to put out what I want. And, you know, I pray it does well, because we all as artists want our work to do well. We want people to dig our music and have understanding what it is that we're trying to say. But I can just rest assured that I put this out, and this makes me feel like I have stepped fully back into my womanhood, back into um, the artist that I knew I was meant to be, and what my purpose is. Um, and I think it's also very aligned with the inner work and the introspection that I've been able to have the blessing to do, being able to work from home and having the time to really think about things and think about my life and my path and my trajectory while I'm manifesting all this abundance, especially with these commissions, you know, Minnesota Orchestra, SPCO, and Schubert Club, and San Fran Conservatory of Music. So it's just, you know, I think everything is aligned, and it's just, I couldn't have done this in any kind of way if I did not go to therapy, if I did not go to healers, you know, if I did not have the people on my side that, you know, help me, you know, manifest this envision. Um, you know, so it's just, it's all aligned, Krista, and it's liberating, and it's everything that I wanted it to be. So, you know, it's aptly titled Sovereign for so many reasons, because I've never felt freer. Um, I don't even know what to say after that part. Like, I've never felt freer as a woman, as an artist, as a Black person in this world, because I understand that we have the power, and I'm going to keep pushing that in my music, you know, as long as I live, because I have a different understanding. I know my power. I understand my power, and I want my people to master theirs and understand theirs. And I want to send those messages because I'm tired of white supremacy, and I'm tired of the way in which that we are treated here, um, and globally. And I think just as I looked into myself and started questioning things and started questioning my own thoughts and what I believe and what I was fed, and having my own understanding as to what I believe from my own experiences through life, through 36 years, um, and sitting with that and knowing I don't have to do that. I can do something different. I can have a different mindset, you know? I talk about all kinds of stuff in that album. I tell you, I talk about Democrats, I talk about all kinds of stuff, and even how I feel about them, like, I was always a Democrat, a voter for a Democrat because that's, what we were taught to do, but it ain't right, and I don't, and as a political science major, like that for me, it is the same bird, two different wings. It's the same quarter, different sides. Nobody is doing anything for us. And I have to say that out loud, and I know people be like, why is she laughing? But it's just because it's the absurdity. That's why I do that. It's because it's unbelievable to me. Like, hello, like it's really that simple. Nobody is doing anything for us but launching studies and talking. And that's always how it's been through all the civil rights movements. And as we are in another one right now, things have to happen in a different kind of way, and we got to get radical. We got to get different. Even in the organizations and stuff that I work with now, I'm more like, I need to see more people of color on the bill. I need to see more people of color working here. I need to see more people of color. Like, we can use the blueprints of what, I use the blueprint of what I seen before, the Josephine Bakers and Melina Horns and all those people that were pushing, or not just pushing envelopes, but breaking glass ceilings in their time, working in very white spaces and what they deem as prestigious places, and how they had to push and they had to step to these people, and I have to do the same thing, because just because I am elevating doesn't mean that the whole is elevating, and I need to be able to bring other people through, because that's just what I'm supposed to do. So, I think this album positions me to really be a catalyst and be the alchemist that I was born to be.
I love it. I'm so excited to hear the whole album. We will hear the single Rights tonight, which is
Yeah.
just yes, thank you for sharing it. And that's such a beautiful song. And oh, just so much has happened in the past year. And I just I know for me, like, yeah, George Floyd, that was really it's just shocking, a shocking event that happened. And I know that it was just a huge catalyst for me to realize and put a different lens over how I was seeing things as well.
Mm-hmm.
Really led me to realize some of the things that I've been not doing great at being an
Mm-hmm.
ally and being around for people in ways that I really need to and to step up. And so I am excited to dive into your album and just hear more of how you're feeling and get my lens open, clean my little lens off and hear a little bit
Yeah.
more from your perspective and how you're feeling. So I'm so excited for this whole album just to hear how you've been feeling and how just I don't know. Now I'm just babbling, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yes, my proclamations,
Yes.
these are like my proclamations, and it is a total story. The thing that was really cool about it to me, Charlie Gruber, I was recording at his studio, 8VB, and he had told me one day, he was like, this is a concept album, and I was like, oh, I've heard that, but this is cool, and then he, was talking to me, about, what that means. And I didn't even write it like that. Like, this stuff is so funny. It's just, it comes out like that, but it's a story. It's a story from start to finish. And it starts, with Code Switch. And I was ready to just like blow my top. It was like the pinnacle. It just kind of starts when I was in the middle of, not having clarity and too many things going on in my head, and too many visceral feelings and triggers that I couldn't cope with or deal with. So it takes you through that and through the healing process of me having to look in the mirror, me having to do the inner work, me having to heal my inner child, and then going into the, my priesthood, my warriorhood, my, eldership down the line, and working towards that path, and, sowing seeds of power and knowledge, and sowing seeds of inner healing so that you can truly be strong, because we need to get strong. And so it's a whole story. I really hope in a concept album, like, it's cute. I like that, but it really is. You have to listen to it to understand it. It's not, I mean, like, all the tracks stand alone, but just to sit down and listen from start to finish to understand the whole concept of it is the best thing for y'all to do. And it's nice. It's knocking. It's really beautiful. Jason McGlow mixed it over at the Hideaway Studios, and Rob Schletty from Anthem Mastering mastered it. The lovely poet and artist and rapper and musician Desdemona did the cover art.
Oh my gosh, I love
and the CD art and all that. Yeah, that's my girl. And we had Zanetta Ogar, Z. She used to work at Icehouse, and she does sound with Chastity. Chastity Brown.
Yeah.
So we had her doing mixing and stuff, and a host of other wonderful people who, a small select few, because I kept this a secret, but just, I had a good group of people. And then I want to shout out my band, of course. James Towns on bass, Ted Godbot on keys, Ahanti Young on vocals and percussion, Tayo Siolo on vocals, and Nick Dodd on drums. Because they came in and they played their behinds off. They knocked it out of the park, what I asked for, and they went above and beyond in the studio for sure. So I mean, y'all are gonna love it. And it's 12 tracks. It's a nice little album. So
wow. Yeah. It's just been a lot of EPs that have been coming out lately. So very exciting to dive into a 12-track album. And I'm sure there's plenty of artists that have released full albums. So don't at me, everybody. But yes. We're very excited about this. And you have a album release show coming up.
Absolutely.
Well.
It's good. It's gonna be wonderful.
On the day, right?
On the day. So I'm gonna be releasing a Spotify pre-link pretty soon, and y'all can check that out on my social media. I am at PaviElle_music on IG. I'm at Revolt and Uprise on Twitter, and I am PaviElle or PaviElle French, both pages on Facebook. But I'm gonna do a Spotify pre-link, and then it'll be released on the 17th. It's the same day as the album release party, which will be at the Icehouse, and it'll be an outside show. It'll be really intimate and up close. And I'm gonna bring my machine and bring the fellas, and we're gonna play. We're just gonna do it. First time ever played in the public realm, first time heard in the public realm, any of that kind of stuff. So it'll be an epic day for me. And then I get on a plane and go to San Fran the next day.
Oh my gosh. You are so busy. And I love it. That's going to be amazing. San Francisco.
Can I tell you how busy I am? So in San Francisco, the Conservatory of Music, I'll be playing their first concert of the season, September 25th, and it will be live streamed. So y'all can go check it out. Just check it out at the San Fran Conservatory of Music in San Francisco. Just look it up online. And then in December, I will be playing with the Minnesota Orchestra. And Kevin Kling and I are writing a story together and it's a musical story and holiday show type thing that I'm really looking forward to. And it's got a fabulous cast of players and a fabulous team of writers. And it's like my first time working with Minnesota Orchestra and getting to create something brand new, you know? So I'm really excited about that opportunity. So be sure to check that out. And then I'm doing a world premiere of the symphony I wrote, Sands of Time, in January, which was canceled due to COVID because it was supposed to be January 2020. It's okay because we're getting ready to do it. I'm just so happy and that also will be live streamed, but we're also going to do that at the Ordway Concert Hall, and that'll be in January. And then I also have a commission with the Schubert Club that I'm writing for a different kind of setup. So it'll be some strings and some orchestral music or instruments, but it'll be more of a funky kind of thing. So I'm really excited about being booked out like that and having all these wonderful things coming out plus this album. So y'all, just stay with me because I feel like some really beautiful things and some beautiful art is going to happen with the more that I get this abundance and opportunities to share my heart and share my soul with the world.
Well, that's fantastic. PaviElle, congrats. Congrats on the album. Congrats on the grants. Congrats on all of these amazing. You're definitely in your sweet spot. You're that zone, that great, beautiful zone where the universe is just. I mean, you've done your work, right?
Yeah.
Therapy
Yes.
helps. Then
it really does. It helps you like walk across that threshold because then you're ready for it, and I feel ready for it. I wasn't ready for it then, so I couldn't be in a better place to have all this these wonderful things manifesting that I've been hoping, wishing, dreaming, and praying of for years and years since I was a baby.
Oh, well, I'm so happy for you. And thank you so much for coming on the show. It was so fun to finally meet you.
Of course. Same, likewise. I mean, this was such a wonderful conversation, and thank you for letting me talk.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I want. These are the conversations I want. I want to hear what's going on with artists and how you get to this point with your music. So I really do mean I cannot wait to listen to this album and dive into it and, just share it, tell everyone else to go listen to it, which I am right now. Go listen to when it comes out, September 17th.
Yeah,
it's all
go pre-save.
Yeah, go pre-save it on Spotify.
Go pre-save on Spotify. Yeah. That's right. Yes, indeed. I'm like, oh, this is all newfangled. I was like, I like this little new stuff. Right. I was like, let's do that. Yeah, I'll put it online.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, congrats, and I will see you at your album release show. I cannot wait. And thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, of course. And if anybody has any questions or any inquiries and stuff, they can email me at pfrench3@gmail.com or paviellebooking@gmail.com. And they can also find all the album credits and all the lyrics and info and stuff on my Bandcamp, and that's Miss French. So just, you can Google the Bandcamp and put in Miss French, MS.FRENCH, and you'll find me.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks for sharing all those links. It's hard not to find you then somewhere, essentially.
Oh, you'll find me. Yep. Fun One. You can go on Fun One Records because that's the label that it'll be distributed on. So that's another spot. You can find it anywhere. And if you can't find it, find me.
Okay.